it right. I told you it's the end for you, and I swear this time we're through. But it's a lie when you call my name. Yeah, ooh, that sounds so right, so right, so right. Deep down, wishing you were mine. Deep down, miss you all the time. Dream about what we could have been if we tried up. But deep down, wishing you were mine, were mine. You got me so deep, I wanna go deep. You got me so, yeah. You got me so deep, I wanna go deep. You got me so, yeah. Yeah, need to be strong. As soon as I see ya, you can turn my tables back around. So easy, you got the control. Just hearing your speakers gets me kinda crazy, kinda foolish, foolish. I know that it's the end for you, and I swear this time we're through. But it's a lie when you call my name. Yeah, ooh, that sounds so right, so right, so right. Deep down, wishing you were mine. Deep down, miss you all the time. Dream about what we could have been if we tried up. But deep down, wishing you were mine, were mine. Dream about what we could have been if we tried up. 'Cause deep down, wishing you were mine, were mine. You got me so deep down, wishing you were mine. Deep down, miss you all the time. Dream about what we could have been if we tried up. But deep down, wishing you were mine, were mine. You got me so deep, I wanna go deep. You got me so deep.
Okay, okay, we're back. Don't worry about it. Hi, hey. I'm back from the dead again. I keep spending too many days not doing anything important. But forget that. We're here now, so let's just get started. Today I wanted to talk about personality and gender. I know, super interesting topics. Let's change the scene. Ta-da! A book. Yeah, a book. Everyone loves books, don't they? We all love books. I know I do. What book is this? Well, this is supposed to be a book about personality, psychology of personality, to be precise. We're gonna take a look at this section. That's gender and personality. That's what we're gonna look at. So let's go over to page 309. 309. Da 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 da. 309. Yeah, personality and gender. Excuse me. Personality and gender. Yeah, the differences between men and women. Let's take a look at our little notebook. So, the differences between personality and gender. For one, I do know that between men and women, generally the differences between personality traits isn't that substantial. I mean, it is there, don't get me wrong, but it isn't enough to justify assuming that all women or all men are better at a certain type of, activity than the other. So let's take a look at something we covered last week. That should be not here. Not, yeah, the 5 dimensions of personality. You should kind of be aware of this, like openness being the degree to which someone is willing to hear, or someone is willing to experience new things. Conscientiousness being the degree to which a person is, very thorough or focused or, organized. Then extroversion, the degree to which a person is socially adept. Agreeableness is, the degree to which a person would be easy to, agree with, as the name implies. And neuroticism being how emotional a person is. Now, that is a very poor description of the 5 core personality dimensions, but that's just that's enough to understand the general context of what we're talking about. Let's go back to the book. So we probably should just get started. Let's go to the next page. Okay, imagine that you woke up tomorrow morning. Yes, what the hell am I reading this? Imagine if you woke up tomorrow morning as a person of the other sex. What would be the difference in your life? Would you dress differently? Would you be friends with the same people? Would you have the same university major, hairstyle, or would you still be the same person inside? Would you have the same personality? This is the basic question of this chapter. How does gender, including genetics and physiology, as well as cultural and societal expectations, make us who we are? Or to put it differently, if we view personality as a consistent way of behaving, are men and women consistently behaving in different ways? Yeah, this is where I am. If men and women generally are more alike than different, okay, forget that. Certainly, there are biological and physical differences between men and women, but are there psychological differences as well? Are these gender differences real, or are they in the eye of the beholder? If real, where do these differences come from? And are they the result of biological and evolutionary forces that are resistant to change, or are they the result of societal and cultural forces that can't change? To illustrate gender differences and where they come from, what? I cannot read for shit. To illustrate why gender differences and where they come from are important, take for example a commonly held belief that men are better than women at mathematics. This turns out to be a myth, something we'll explore in depth later in this chapter. However, it is true that men are better than women when it comes to one type of mathematical ability, spatial reasoning. In fact, the difference between men and women on spatial rotation, one aspect of spatial reasoning where participants have to mentally rotate a figure, is one of the largest gender differences in cognitive ability. Okay, so this is kind of claiming that men have better spatial reasoning, so yeah, rotating 3D objects in their head is much easier, which is odd. So let's take a look at this this source that they mentioned. The title should be Mental Rotation of Three-Dimensional Objects. Copy that, and okay. This is the study, apparently. No way the study isn't free. Is it locked behind a paywall? Because I'm not paying for the shit. Nah, it's paywalled, it seems. why are so many studies locked behind paywalls? I thought science was supposed to be an open thing, but I guess it's not. Anyway, let's just read the abstract since that's all we seem to have access to. The time required to recognize that two perspective drawings portray objects of the same three-dimensional shape is found to be a linearly increasing function of angular difference in the portrayed orientations of two objects, and no shorter for differences corresponding simply to a rigid rotation of one of the two-dimensional drawings in its own picture plane than for differences corresponding to a rotation of three-dimensional objects in depth. That made absolutely no sense. Fuck this paywall shit. Tired of looking for journal articles and just seeing, oh, I need to pay like what, $50 for like a singular article. What a waste of money. What a gatekeeping knowledge pisses me off personally, but that's just me, and my opinions don't really matter all that much. So let's continue what we're discussing. We were talking about spatial reasoning and the differences between men and women. From what it seems, there's this commonly thought of assumption that men are better at women at mathematics, but according to this, it's supposed to be not that much of a difference, and the difference in mathematical reasoning comes in spatial reasoning, or whatever the hell that means. Anyway, let's keep going. Some gender differences, such as spatial rotation abilities, once thought of to be evolutionarily programmed, can be eliminated with certain opportunities and experiences. Where does this gender difference in mental rotation come from? Given the differences in mental rotation can be seen in infants as young as 3 to 5 months of age, psychologists assume that the difference is somewhat hardwired into the biology of men and women as a result of our evolution. After all, it takes more visual spatial ability. Spatial ability to judge the distance between a query and to gauge how fast and how far to throw a weapon to take down a potential meal than it is involved in birthing and raising children. I can't read for shit. Until recently, this is what many people thought. However, researchers gave undergraduate men and women 10 hours of training on either a 3D puzzle video game or a 3D action video game that required them to aim and shoot the targets. As a result of the training, not only did the participants get better at their respective games, but as you would imagine, but as those who played the action game but not the puzzle game improved their performance in mental rotation tasks. Okay, so gamers are just simply superior. Let's get this down. Gamers are the superior spell species. Men are better at math than women. False. Cultural, societal. What about it? Gendered differences may be the result of societal differences rather than simply biological. Okay, I'm back to that thing. Where were we? What the fuck were we doing? Yeah, this. Even more impressive, the difference in mental rotation abilities between men and women, something once thought of to be an innate gender difference and impossible to change, was greatly reduced so that women who trained on the action game caught up to spatial ability level to the spatial ability level of the average man without the special training. These results suggest that some gender differences that were once thought of to be fixed may actually be changeable as a result of life experience, opportunities, preferences, or expectations rather than set in stone due to the innate differences. The catch is that we can't always know what kind of gender difference is inborn or socialized. Okay, this is the what do they call it? A visual representation of the data gathered from the study that he mentioned earlier about women and men being divided in 10 groups of women and men training on video games to improve spatial reasoning or spatial rotation. Okay, let's go here. Okay, so one thing to note is that there is always more to things than meets the eye. So some things that are just thought of to be common assumptions, for example, this gender is better at just this gender than this thing, because obviously men are simply just better at things, is kind of just a quick assumption made based on the available information you have, but a lot of the time those assumptions aren't correct. So let's go back to the book. How about what is I thinking about? Who cares? Let's keep going. Next page. In this chapter, we consider the question, are there personality differences between men and women? To answer this question, we attempt to sort out facts from fiction about actual gender differences, evaluate the size of gender differences, and debate where gender differences might come from. Consider the impact of gender beliefs, and then take a look at how the definition and assessment of gender has changed throughout the years. Okay, they ask here, what do you think men and women have what do you think men and women have different personalities? I right now do have some assumptions in mind that I'm going to at least try to figure out whether they are somewhat accurate or not. Let's go to the thing. Let's go to the thing. Where's the notebook? Okay, yeah, here. Found it. Okay, so my assumptions. What are your gender assumptions about personality? Okay, my assumptions as of right now are that women tend to be more neurotic than men, or express neuroticism more often than men. Neurotic. What else? Men tend to be more aggressive. Now women. What else? What other assumption can I think of right now on the spot? Assumptions. How about what other assumptions? Maybe women have slightly more agreeable. No, 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 no. Maybe men are more extroverted. Is that an assumption? I don't actually think that. So, okay. Let's say women tend to be more conscientious than men. I cannot spell for shit. Maybe that's another assumption I can come up with. Oh, what other assumption can I come up with? I think that's about all that comes to mind. I don't really have too many assumptions. I try to keep an open mind when studying, because that's how you learn. What was I thinking about? Yeah, the notebook. Not the notebook, the book. Okay, so what was I? Yeah. Beliefs about personality similarities and differences between men and women. According to some psychologists, the North American majority culture is so taken with gender differences. The differences between men and women are seen as large, unchangeable, present from birth, if not sooner, and a part of the very essence of what it means to be a man or a woman. Okay, so I think this is pretty much saying that the average North American sees a clear, distinct difference between men and women that are kind of just inborn traits. Okay, I don't know how true that is, but I'll have to ask a Westerner, because as you know, I'm not from the West. I'm just someone who likes to learn about places. We tend to believe that men and women differ in personality, social roles, physical attributes, emotional experience and expression, and even in the way we think. Beliefs about what men and women are like are remarkably stable and consistent across many cultures, both in North America and abroad. Women are believed to be more concerned with nurturing, whereas men are more concerned with action and accomplishments. Yeah, this is also an assumption I see a lot. Even back home, I won't tell you where my home is, obviously, because I don't want to get myself doxxed. But back home, I remember my mama, I love my mom. My mom, she used to talk about, a woman's place is in the household to take care of the kids, raise the kids, be a great mother, and all that. And a man's place is to be out there working and, making a life or a livelihood for the family. And generally, I think that's just like your usual assumption of gender roles in society. I think gender roles are a good thing and they have a place in society, but they should not be used as an excuse to belittle or demoralize anybody or put down anybody. But I do believe gender roles have a place in society. Not, I didn't say it's a good place or a bad place, but they do have a place in society. Men and women are also believed to pursue different career paths as well as hobbies and activities. Traditional masculine occupations include auto mechanic, carpenter, jet pilot, police officer, and civil engineer. Traditional feminine occupations include nurse, art teacher, and social worker. Men are presumed to spend their free time playing sports or working on computers, and women spend most of their free time shopping. Interesting. Statistics Canada reports that in 2009, women made up about 87% of professionals in professionals in nursing, therapy, and other health-related support fields. In the trades field, women comprised only 6% of professionals. I want to do some quick googling right now. I want to look up some stuff. Let's take a look at our dear friend Google. Medical industry. gender differences. Let me see. The total number of workers in public hospital was about 60,000 people. 71% were women. The healthcare staff comprised of 40,000 workers. That's about 6% women and 21% men. The rest of the employees were from administration and services. Women accounted for 50% of specialist medical staff and 78% of nursing staff. In terms of management positions, 60% of all positions were held by men. Overall, the probability of a man achieving one of the positions is 3.85 times higher than that of a woman. Among the management and sub-management positions, men represented 64% and 55% respectively. Among the Director General and Economic Administrative positions, including sub-directors, men's representation was higher, with men occupying 77% of positions. Among the medical and nursing directorates and sub-directorates, men represented 55 and 45 respectively. In medical positions referred to as service and sectional chiefs, we found that 72% of the total were occupied by men. Okay. Women, men. Thoracic surgery. Okay. So the bulk of the medical industry seems to just be made up of women, but in certain positions, in the higher up positions, it tends to be occupied by men. Women, regional hospital. Gender disparity in healthcare leadership is pronounced. Globally, it is estimated that women represent 70% of healthcare workers, yet only 26% of representative positions are held by women. So it seems like the leadership of the medical industry isn't made up of women, but the bulk of the medical industry is made up of women. That's interesting. I wonder why. I think usually the assumption would be that, that the women are being filtered by the glass ceiling. Is it glass ceiling? Is that what they call it? Right. I think it's called the glass ceiling. That thing that says, women. What? Let me even Google this. Glass ceiling. An unofficially acknowledged barrier to the advancement in profession, especially affecting women and members of minorities. Okay. So discriminatory stuff, the usual. I wonder, there's a person I want to ask about this, about gender differences. If I just generally about the medical industry, there's a person I really want to ask. I think it's Dr. Lowline. Let me look him up. Wait, let me switch off the browser before something bad comes up. I want to go on Twitter. Real quick. Twitter. Dr. Where is Dr. Lowline? Yeah, there he is, Dr. Lowline. This guy. I want to ask him about some stuff. I'll probably do so later at some point. But apparently he's an actual doctor, so he should have more inside information. So a lot of inside information. Anyway, yeah, back to the discussion at hand. Forget the medical industry. Let's go back to the psychology industry or whatever. What the fuck was I talking about? Who gives a shit? Give me a second. I need to think. What was I talking about? Yeah, gender differences. Gender differences. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, overall, this data may suggest that women are more concerned with other people and the social group, being interdependent and feeling connected with others and with the group. In contrast, men may focus on individual and feelings of self-protection and self-assertion. These contrasting ways of approaching the social world have been called communion and agency, and reflect traditional feminine and masculine socialization. No doubt you recognize these stereotypes of what men and women are like. A stereotype is a generalization about a group of people, in this case men or women, in which attributes are assumed to be true of all members of the group, regardless of variation among the group. Gender stereotypes describe traits among my bad, I dissolved. What the hell was I talking about? Yeah. Gender stereotypes describe traits and behaviors that people believe occur more frequently in one gender or the other. They describe what men and women are like, as well as what they should be like. Often these stereotypes reinforce traditional sex roles. Cool. Traditional stereotypes of males and females. Category, personality, social roles, physical attributes, emotional experience, cognition. We are more focused on personality, so let's take a look at this. Agents, what agentic and instrumental, expressive and communal, active, competitive, independent and self-confident, emotional, gentle, understanding, devoted. Okay, so the assumption or general stereotypes say women are softer or whatever, and men are more, in charge and out and, spearheading, focused on whatever the hell it is they want to focus on. Go-getters. I don't really care for all that, but who cares? What were we discussing? I don't know. But yeah, Indians. I love Indians. Who doesn't love Indians? I love Indians. How about this? Indians. Is there any truth to these beliefs? What we know what people and the media say, but what does psychological research say about the differences in personality between men and women? Okay, research method. Effect size and meta-analysis. Say that you are making salsa and you need tomatoes, peppers, onions, cilantro, lime juice, salt, and perhaps a few other ingredients. But suppose you're in the middle of preparation for a dinner party and discover that you are out of lime juice. With guests due in 15 minutes, would you quickly run to the grocery store and get some, or would you just go without? Many cooks would just go without. After all, lime juice adds very little to the final flavor of salsa. However, suppose that you discover that you forgot to buy tomatoes. Can you make salsa without tomatoes? No way. So it just wouldn't be salsa. Yeah, it just wouldn't be salsa without tomatoes. This analogy can help us understand the concept of effect size. Just as how tomatoes and lime juice each have differences in the impact of the final flavor of salsa, effect size tells us the impact or importance of a variable to the overall observed effect size. Okay. You know what? Fuck this shit. This is the stats of psychology and I hate that so goddamn much. But you know what? I'm gonna talk about it because I love this field. So let's go here And yeah, so generally there are different ways of trying to crunch numbers in psychology, trying to figure out, I don't know, dumb stuff, dumb number stuff. I'm not even interested in that kind of stuff. Terms like effect size, Pearson's. I got all my terms. I'm so dumb, and I was reading just like last week about this stuff, and I forgot already. I just have poor memory. Yeah, lots of psychological terms. Sorry, what psychological? Not psychological. Statistical terms for, but I don't know, statistics or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to word it. I'm bad at wording things, but that's not new. I can barely speak. Back. What? Yeah. What was I looking at again? Yeah, this. Next page. How large of a difference is too large? A range of D from 1 to this trivial. Yeah, oh yeah, I think the closer it is to... Isn't it the closer it is to 1, the larger the effect size? When an effect size is small, there's a huge overlap in the distribution of scores between men and women, even though there's a small difference between men and women. Yeah, even though the small difference between men and women may be statistically significant, it does not necessarily have practical significance. A D of 2, 0.2, is often too small to be noticed in everyday life and would be only detectable in a controlled research study. Okay. So generally, don't rely on statistics to just describe everything in real life, because sometimes statistical significance isn't high enough to be considered realistic. Sure, well, I should probably do a statistics stream sometime and go over all that stupid shit, because I need to learn and I'm not learning fast enough. What was I doing? I need to go take a tinkle. My bad. Give me a second while I'm gone.
She wakes up early every morning just to do her hair down because she cares, y'all. Her day wouldn't be right without her makeup. She never had makeup. She's just like you and me, but she's homeless. She's homeless. And now she stands there singing for money. Let it be, let it down, 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 let it be.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I needed to go. I need to go do something. Anyway, we're back. We're so back. Okay. Back to this. As important as understanding the size of differences. What? Yeah, I need to really look at what I'm reading. Distribution of scores, not important. Let's go over. Yeah, personality differences between men and women, fact or fiction. Men and women are thought of to be different in social behavior, physical attributes, emotional experience, cognition, occupation, interest, moral reasoning, sexual behavior, and personality. But are we really? We can attempt to answer this question by considering the size of the gender differences and the consistency of these differences, and possible interpretations of these differences. Yeah. What? Okay, yeah, I'm alive. What the hell was I talking about? Yeah. In a very careful and strict summary of meta-analytical research on gender differences, including some very interesting extensive national studies, Janet Hyde found that 78% of the effects reported were small or non-significant. Janet Hyde, 2007. Let's look up her study. Yeah, oh my fucking god. I just love cookies. I love when people are asking for my private information. I love giving people my data. You don't understand. I just love giving companies my data. Janet Hyde. Wow, another gate-kept article. How wonderful. I just love not having access to articles. Is there any way? I need an extension. I need an extension for this shit, because I am not in the mood to just never be able to read any article ever. Now, where's her 2007 study? Science and sex differences in science and mathematics. This better be available. Okay, perfect. Summary. Amid ongoing public speculation about the reasons for sex differences in careers in science and mathematics, we present a consensus statement that is based on the best available scientific evidence. Sex differences in science and math achievement and ability are smaller for the mid-range of abilities of distribution than they are for those with the highest levels of academic highest levels of achievement and ability. Males are more variable on most measures of quantitative and visuospatial ability, which necessarily results in more males at both high and low ability extremes. The reason why males are so often more variable remains elusive. Okay, so it seems like when testing for visuospatial ability, men just tend to have a wilder degrees of scores. For example, they're a lot in the high range and they're a lot in the low range. So that's just generally more variability, okay, as they said. And apparently they don't know why. So successful careers in math and science require many types of cognitive abilities. Females tend to excel in verbal abilities, with large differences between females and males found when assessments include writing samples. High-level achievement in science and math requires the ability to communicate effectively and comprehend abstract ideas. So the female advantage in writing should be helpful in all academic domains. Males outperform females on most measures of visuospatial abilities. which have been implicated as contributing to sex differences on standardized exams in math and science. An evolutionary account of sex differences in mathematics and science supports the conclusion that although sex differences in math and science performance have not directly evolved, they could be indirectly related to differences in interests and specific brain and cognitive systems. We will review the brain basis for sex differences in science and math, describe consistent effects, and identify numerous possible correlates. Experience alters brain structures and functioning. So causal statements about brain differences and success in math and science are circular. A wide range of socio-cultural forces contribute to sex differences in peer and school influences, training and experience, and cultural practices. We conclude that early experience, biological factors, educational policy, and cultural context affect the number of women and men who pursue advanced study in science and math, and that the effects add and interact in complex ways. There are no single or simple answers to the complex question about sex differences in science or mathematics. Okay, so there are differences, and you can't just give a quick answer. Right, there is just simple one and done answer. We can go into the study in depth, but I don't really have the, fortitude to do that. One area of contention concerns the use of the term sex and gender. Some authors prefer sex to the biological distinction between people, such as genitals and chromosomes, and gender refers to those male and female differences that are thought of to arise from social or environmental influences. On one side of the issue, there are psychologists who believe using the term gender differences in scientific... Oh shit. The sun's coming up. Fuck. In research that compares male and females is preferable because it does not imply the origins of the differences, or it conveys a more pro-nurture origin. The whole sex versus gender debate. I never really understood that. Versus gender debate. I always wondered what exactly this whole discussion was, or what exactly either of these two terms mean, because I kind of hear different people say one is real and the other isn't, or one is biological and the other is social. I personally don't really give that much of a shit, but some people seem to, and I can respect that. Biology, innate ability, achievement, IQ. Intelligence is another abstract construct in assessment. It is summarized with a single score known as IQ. IQ tests. I have a big gripe with IQ tests. In fact, the whole idea of the IQ, right? IQ as a term, I think is very flawed and gives people a wrong idea of how intelligence works or how intelligence is. IQ, right, doesn't just make you smarter than other people. Right? Just because you have a high IQ doesn't mean you're smarter than a certain person or that you are predestined to any greater achievements. But I assume if you have a high IQ, you should be able to at least grasp that. Okay. Thus, we cannot turn to the standardized intelligence test to determine if there is a smarter sex. Okay, the most commonly used intelligence tests have been designed so that no overall sex differences in IQ scores, so that there are no overall... Anyway, when items are selected for inclusion in standardized tests, items that show an advantage for either male or females are discarded during the test construction, or balanced with items that show an equal advantage for either sex. Okay, so size of effect. When researchers say males are better than X, are better at X, or females are better at Y, it is important to know that the magnitude of differences claimed. Yeah, like they mentioned earlier, effect sizes. It has to be statistically significant for them to give a shit or for you to make any serious claims. What are we looking for next? I don't care about cognitive ability. This stupid thing, where the fuck does this come from? I've seen this like 5 times now. Who made this? I don't know and I don't care. Anyway. Yeah, let's check out any other of our studies. Yeah, let's check out a meta-analytical review of sex differences and sexuality. No, gender differences in sexuality. Jennifer L. Peterson, Janet Shelby Hyde. Numerous empirical studies have examined the stereotype that men have more sexual experience than and hold more primitive sexual attitudes than women. Blah 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 blah. Evolutionary psychology. Blah 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 blah. Why don't they just put concise tables? Yeah, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Iterator reliability. Nope, that's what I'm looking for. Ethnicity. To investigate the variation among U.S. ethnic groups and magnitude of gender differences. Okay, white Caucasian, black American, Asian American, Hispanic, Latino, statistical analysis, the effects of the okay, 0.5 is considered small and medium is 0.8. Then what is a large effect size? Then maybe 0.9. Okay, yeah, the results is what I was looking for. Self-reported behaviors. Petting, intervals. This is such weird shit. Okay. Oh yeah, since it was between 2 researchers, you have to compare their data. You know what? I'll save this for later, or better yet, all her studies seem to be interesting, so I'll save her page later. Miss Janet Hyde. Let's save that there. Janet Hyde. Reminds me of Sam Hyde. Okay. Back to the thing, whatever the thing we were looking at. That's what we're looking at, I think. How about I forgot what I was saying. You know what? Let's wrap this up quickly. Meta-analysis. Next page. Okay, let's just look over this data. Height. Type of variable, physical, overlap effect size. Okay, so differences between men and women when it comes to height seems to be large or statistically significant. Throwing velocity, so men tend to throw better, I assume. People things dimension. Desire realistic occupations. Okay, so there's a gender difference between there is some gender difference between realistic expectations for occupation, technology knowledge, electronics knowledge, train accuracy, jacking off, number of ideal partners in a lifetime, aggression measured by projective tests, aggression measured by fantasy. By the way, projective tests are a type of psychological tests like the Rorschach test or whatever the hell. There are many. There are like I think 4 popular types of projective tests. I can look into that on another stream. Who cares? Attitude towards sex in a casual relationship, sports knowledge, mental rotation, extroversion. I fucking called it. Where is it? Where is my goddamn notebook? I fucking called it. Where is it? Why is the screen black? I am just realizing the screen is black. I fucking called it this. Extroversion. Okay, no, I didn't put it down. But yeah, I knew that there had to be a gender difference between extroversion, or at least that was my assumption. At least there is some type of evidence towards that. Grip strength, jealousy over sexual versus emotional infidelity. Okay, so I assume that men consider sexual infidelity more. So I can't even now. It's a medium effect. It's a medium, what they call it, significance. So I don't think that is that different. There isn't that much of a difference between perception over infidelity. Math tests or math scores seems to be small, so this is pretty much non-existent. Arousal to erotic material. So college students, there doesn't seem to be a difference between what they call it arousal levels, surrogacy, helping behavior, self-esteem, activity, homosexuality. Really? I thought there were more homosexual men than homosexual women. Who cares? SAT, math, arousal to material, high intensity fun. Really? Maybe it's different for kids then. Or who cares? Partners. Okay, there's expectation of sexual partners, which is different from number of sexual partners. So there's an expectation, and then there's the reality. Empathy is about the same. Pride frequency, guilt frequency, GPA, balance, arousal. Adults. Wait, are college students not considered adults? Self-esteem at age 60 plus, openness. Okay, I guess I get to eat ass when it comes to openness. I guess I was totally wrong about that. Conscientiousness, I think it seems like I was wrong about that too. Who cares? Are there gender differences? Agreeableness, sympathy. Okay, so these are the traits that there is no gender difference. Gender differences, probably gender differences. Okay, that should be, so pretty much it depends. I think that's the general answer. I think the general answer is it depends. Okay, so causes. Yeah, okay. What causes gender differences? Perhaps men and women are more similar than you thought. After all, many psychological gender differences are trivial. The reality of them is that the medium and large gender differences do exist. So we should be careful to not embrace the simplistic conclusion that men and women are the same, or that men and women are different. Yeah, it's more complicated than that. It's not just one simple answer, it seems. Okay, that's noteworthy. First, at the nature extreme are biological explanations. These explanations suggest that the differences between gender are innate and due to biological causes like hormones, genetics, and evolution. One study of families includes identical and non-identical twins, estimates that about 25% of variance in gendered behavior for teenage males and 38% for females was due to genetic influences. The remaining 75% and 62% was due to non-shared environmental influences like differential treatment by parents and measurement errors. Also, psychologists are now discovering the extent to which prenatal hormones, as well as daily fluctuations in testosterone, monthly fluctuations in estrogen, and even lifetime exposure to estrogen and affect cognitive abilities. Cognitive abilities, oh my god. Risk-taking behavior. Men are higher in impulsive sensation-seeking, aggression. One of the most consistent findings within both Canada and other countries is that men are more aggressive than women. I fucking knew it. Men tend to be more aggressive than women, and I know that's not simply a biological reason. There's also a major social factor to it. Empathy. You say who shows more empathy? Blah 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 blah. Studies on interaction between two people. Blah 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 blah. Likely to feel emotions over. Okay, so women might probably report what they call it, are better at telling other people's emotions, maybe. That's emotional common factor. Okay, so emotions seem to be more culturally influenced, and there is no major difference. Anxiety. Women are more anxious. However, this is based on a self-report, and the effect size also doesn't seem to be too large. So, helping behavior, men engage in more helping behavior than women. Really, not that large of an effect size, though. Especially if onlookers are present, that makes sense. Leadership. There are no gender differences in leadership effectiveness. Men and women tend to have different leadership styles. Influenceability. Consider the social behavior of influenceability, or how likely people are to go along with others. Show women are somewhat more influenceable than men. This is a very small effect size. Okay, so pretty much gaslight women, beat up men is what I get from that. Men have slightly higher self-esteem than women, but this difference varies, getting higher or lower depending on the age. Okay. What causes gender differences? Didn't we just read this, or am I schizophrenic? Sexuality, evolution, aggressiveness, evolution, risk-taking, evolution, type preferences, evolution, spatial orientation. This is weird. Anyway, evolution. Evolutionary psychology, not my favorite. Social role theory. This is pretty much social role theory. Pretty much assumes that, makes the argument that different gender differences are because of societal expectations and different roles in society. Evolutionary psychology argues that gender differences are because of innate biological traits inherited from our ancestors. Social context argues that it depends on the context in which a person is in, or to determine their ability to perform, whatever the hell. Social construction, who gives a shit? Social construction is pretty much based on stereotypes. Biopsychosocial model assumes that there are makes the argument that gender differences are a combination of both biological, psychological, and social factors, which I do think is obviously the best model to work with. I swear to God, these pages are just looping all over again. Visual assessment of gender. Okay, that should be it for now. That should be all for now. That's all I have the energy to do for now. Okay, so what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna go away now. I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna go do something else, and instead of what was I thinking about? Yeah, instead of staying any longer, I'm just gonna go and do something else. and then I'll come back and stream on Twitch later when I have time, when I've woken up, or when I've eaten, or whatever the hell. I'm so tired, I can't even think. But after I'm done here, I'm gonna go to Twitch and play some Fallout, because it's been a hot minute since I've had some fun with that. Anyway, I'll talk with you later. Bye.